Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
Well, happy Saturday morning. We do have some arrests in the Guthrie case. We have breaking news. Come on in, sit on down, get yourself a cup of coffee, and let's chat about the new developments in the Nancy Guthrie case.
Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration, and if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason, though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good morning, my beautiful coffee beans. It's nice to see you guys out there. Let me turn my volume down just a tad bit because I'm already loud enough. You guys don't need me to amplify my my system so much that I blow your eardrums out. It's nice to see you. We have a lot of people in chat, but before we get started, I always try to say good morning to everybody. If you don't know who I am, I'm Bullhorn Betty. I've been covering true crime on this platform for several years, and we just cover the cases. We do it a little different than everybody else. We're usually boots on the ground. We do searching. We do avocation. That means if I think you are guilty, I might be in front of your house with a bullhorn. Okay, we do a lot of different things on this channel. Some people like it, some people don't, but right now we are in the case of Nancy Guthrie, and this above me and behind me is the assailant that broke into her home. And we are hearing this morning that we have 3 detained right now, and I want to make sure that we understand the difference between a detainment and arrest. And we're going to be going through all of these things. We're going to go through what we know right now, because I know you're all here. We're all waiting with bated breath. We want this subject off the roads. We want them behind bars, and we want to know what happened to Nancy Guthrie. We're all getting there a little by slow. We don't have all the answers this morning for you. So I'm not going to try and act like we have all the answers. We do not. Okay, we're going to provide you all the answers that we have this morning about this specific case. First and foremost, I'd like to go through here and just say hi to a few people. We do have a goal. If you guys are interested in talking about your theory, your assessments, and everything else, I'm happy to open the phones. We do have a goal here. It takes a lot of time to open the phones. It takes another hour and a half on top of that to get your calls in. So if you guys would like me to open the show to a call-in show, I'm happy to do that. We do have our goals. 1 to 20 up there right now. If you guys would help facilitate that, it's not required. It's just an option for you if you guys choose to open the phones. Okay, so it's nice to see you all again. We're covering the case of Nancy Guthrie. Nancy Guthrie, 84-year-old grandmother, ripped out of her bed in the middle of the night by masked gunmen. We are hearing that there are 3 people detained. There is a Range Rover that was taken into evidence. They popped up a screen on the outside of that Range Rover. It implies something not good. I'm not sure what it means. I'm not sure if that was Nancy. I'm not sure who it was. We just still don't know anything about where Nancy may be or her condition. So I want to preface that right up front, folks. But we do have some information, and I'm not going to sit here and take too much time. As you guys see, we've got 2 feeds coming in here. We are going to go back in and watch the feed from JLR. So if you guys missed that last night or how they came across the scene, we will get to it. We will get to it. I promise we're not going to miss anything. And we've got 2+ hours to do this in. Okay, I'm not going to rush you. Today's Delilah's day. We go over to my best friend's house for her play date. But because we have some breaking information, I'm going to push that back if we need to. All right, guys. So here we go. This, just to let you know, there you go. This is the person that we've been able to find as being the subject arrested. Not a whole lot of help, to say the least, but it does give us a little insight on who we're dealing with or who was picked up. Now, we can't determine, based upon the sketch that the forensic artist and sketch artist provided us, my best friend's calling. She's off of the up. I can't talk right now. She's probably calling me to tell me that they've found the guy. They found the guy. Yes, everybody's getting up this morning. Let's just go through a couple different things here because I've got a few. So what we do have here is from the person they were viewing, that Arizona law reads that they have 24 hours when they detain somebody to charge them with the person of interest. Serena is on her way to the emergent. Have to go to work. Oh. Okay. Well, it looks like you guys got me here today. My best friend just let me know that her coworker is heading to the hospital and she has to work today. So, looks like you guys got me. So let's get into it this morning. Okay. So right now is the first insight, the first peek of who has been arrested. And this came from, I just want to thank Justin for All. Again, thank Justin for All. Justin for All sent that to me. I want to make sure he gets credit where credit is due. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. We also have our wonderful Turkey Man in the chat right now. Say hi to him. Turkey Man Adventures. He's also helped us this morning by providing us some much needed information here. So they did say that this was 2 miles from Nancy's home. This is within the area that I think would have been more appropriate. So Fox News is breaking all of that down. The Ozark Trail backpack. Appears SWAT raid took place at the home of Braid Ace Green, according to somebody, and I don't know whose child this is, but it says, breaking, it appears SWAT raid took place at a home owned by Braid S. Green of Arizona Attorney General's office. Wow. I don't know how that's what we're hearing. We'll find out about that. 3 detained from a house, 4th detained from a vehicle. It says 2 different locations. In 14 days, this is the most activity we've seen in the case. So there's those updates. And we're going to be getting into more news. So let's find out what we know so far about the folks detained. Folks, come on in. We've got breaking news. Are these the folks? 4 people we're hearing detained, 3 guys and a mother. I don't know who the 4th person is, but it sounds like a 4th person was detained in a car, potentially. So we're going to be learning all of this together. I'm just waking up to this breaking news. I knew something was breaking yesterday, but honestly, I couldn't stay up anymore. I get up way ridiculously early in the morning, and so by 8:30, 9 o'clock, when I stay up till 10:30 or past that, I'm pushing my luck. So I just can't do it.
So late Friday night, authorities descended on a home less than 2 miles from the Nancy Guthrie home in Tucson, Arizona. 3 people are detained, we understand. They are being questioned in relation to the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother. Joining
2 miles from the home, folks. I just want to stop it here because I think it's important that we go. We got almost 800 people in chat right now, folks. Thank you for all being here. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on your way in or your way out. If you are on like X or something like that, please share this post. Just all you have to do is hit the share button and also hit that heart button on X if you're watching me on X or Facebook. There is some things that we have to understand. Yesterday, I was talking about how difficult it was that we didn't have a vehicle, that it was so difficult for the vehicle. Now, we know about the light ordinance out there, which I absolutely disagree with for a variety of reasons, mostly public safety. Public safety is the prime reason. Look at what all we've seen since this case went on, how many freaking creepers they have in the middle of the night. That scares the shit out of me. Okay, I feel bad for the people in Tucson. You guys should demand better. I'm going to get off that argument right now. But Al, thank you, noted one. But I digress. At the end of the day, we were looking at this statement. We were looking at what we were dealing with, and we're like, okay, so we don't have a vehicle leaving the area. Maybe it's somebody that lives in the area. We started developing a theory that this person might hang on. I'm in UK. Fell out of bed. Okay, transporter. We'll wait for you, babe. We'll wait for you. Don't worry. Don't break a hip. Damn it. We're not paying for emergency bills. Okay, we're not going to pay for emergency bills. But at the end of the day, we started thinking, okay, why would they have a problem we know a vehicle. I mean, everybody, raise your hand in the chat. I know we got now almost 900 people here. Raise your hand if you knew that there had to have been, well, let's do 1s and 2s. If you knew there had to have been a vehicle affiliated with this case, put a 1 in the chat. If you were still unsure whether there was some other type of transportation, not necessarily a vehicle, put a 2 in the chat. Or something else. Put a 2 in the chat. But 1 in the chat is you believe there was a vehicle associated with this case. So, good morning, Kim T. It's nice to see you. Everybody come in. We got breaking news. Thank you. Mish, it's great. Okay. So, we're starting to get some answers in on that. So, a lot of people just naturally knew. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So, everybody kind of naturally knew that there was a vehicle attributed to this. Okay. Well, what had happened is they were having a hard time trying to find this said vehicle. Okay, they couldn't seem to put a vehicle up on this. Okay, Krista, well, thank you for being honest with that. We might circle back to you. Let me write that down. Let me write this down real quick. So this is related to vehicle. And we might go and explore this whole vehicle thing a little bit more now that we have a 2. Thank you for being honest. And guys, this is for me to help me, explain certain things. So don't ever, if I ask you guys for a poll, be as honest as you possibly can, because it helps me. Because for the folks that don't understand or don't know, we'd like to explain a little bit, about that, so they're fully understanding as well. Okay, so it was my opinion that there had to have been a vehicle, because obviously she was taken from the home, and there was one of 2 things that were going to happen. She was either walked somewhere, which means they were ultra close, or they had, and we re-reported the gray pickup truck yesterday, or there was a gray pickup truck, but they didn't give us an identity of this gray pickup truck, but we didn't know about this gray pickup. I know, Mab, we're going to get to that. Oh, it's nice to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, we do have a gray Range Rover. We're going to get into that in just a second. So anyways, I really did believe that this person could be close. And I even said, what if? I just said, was it just yesterday or the day before yesterday? I just said, what if, we're fine. I think it was yesterday. I just told my audience, I said, what if this person is in there, is in that neighborhood? And that's why they're not being picked up on those main cameras at those intersections, because they're in that community. Because I even took a measuring tape, because I put up Google Earth and took a measuring tape and showed how, you can't do a radius, but you can pull it out and just show, and then just, take your mouse and show them what the radius would be based upon that. And you could see there was a lot of houses, and they would have never had to have gone out on any main road. And with the fact that they have the light pollution ordinance there with no lights, it would have been easy for somebody, especially somebody that's familiar with that area, to creep. So this is a step in the right direction with this arrest. Let's get back to the video, but I did want to point that out to you.
Joining us now live from the scene in Tucson, Arizona, Fox News correspondent Max Gordon. What's the latest, Max?
Hey there, John. Well, it's been a very active night here in the Tucson area for law enforcement. A lot of developments in the Nancy Guthrie case. Let's get you up to speed. So this all started for us. We first heard wind of this at around 8:30 p.m. local time. That's when we were getting some.
And I want to let you guys know that JLR and his team, I don't really, because of our, falling out and whatever, I don't really say a whole lot about him. And the stuff I do say is not necessarily the nicest. So I will throw this out there. He did a great job, and he stayed on top of it, and he had some locals, and he was about 30 minutes out. But for some social media to compete with organizations that have people, lots and lots of people working around the clock to get intel, and for social media to keep up with the intel of mainstream media, I just want to show you the importance social media has on these cases. And I promise you, we don't kowtow to, if we know something, we tell you. We don't play this footsies with law enforcement or local government, because we might be getting an interview in next year, around tax time or whatever. We're not doing that. These people that are out in these markets, mainstream media, they have to tap dance with these people because they want future interviews with them and stuff like that, and they don't want to be 86. So they do things a lot differently than social media. We don't have those needs when we're here. We're the true crime genre. We're not, the political people that are out there interviewing these people every 2 to 4 years and stuff like that. These people are. So that's why people turn into social media when they want the raw truth, because that's what they do. Look at Jonathan. Do you think mainstream media is putting that type of effort in for you guys? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So again, kudos to the work that they did. They were out there. We're going to get to his video here in just a short little bit. So if you guys did miss it, we will get caught back up.
Law enforcement activity very close to Nancy Guthrie's house. we drove on over here. It was only about a 5-minute drive, about 2 miles driving, and that's where we saw a very heavy law enforcement presence. That's where we later learned 3 people were detained, 2 males, and then 1 woman who is the mother of one of those 2
so
males.
young, a younger person.
This is a very upscale neighborhood. A lot of these homes listed on Zillow for more than $1 million.
Younger people, a mom brought, swept up in this mess. And we were talking about it being a young something. I thought it was a 20-something, a 20 to 30-year-old. And then, of course, the sketch came out and I'm like, well, that kind of looks like a 30 to 40-year-old, And again, I got to remember that was a sketch and that was what this forensic artist did. And even that younger guy that was swept up in the first arrest that was ultimately released, the Carlos, the delivery guy. If you guys haven't hit up Mav Investigates. I've met him and his wife, great people. Worked very, very tight with them in the what was it, Quentin Simon case, I believe it was. But it's been a long time. It's nice to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Long story short is we're here. Now we have this second round of arrests, but this is the difference with the second round of arrests, in my opinion, than the first round of arrests. This second round of arrest is what? It's after the DNA hits, folks. It's after the DNA hits. If you guys didn't know, we reported on this show yesterday that the gloves had rendered a DNA profile. They had a DNA profile yesterday. And we were learning right after that DNA profile was learned by mainstream media and by social media, we started hearing reports that Pima County SWAT was getting en route. And of course, that put a frenzy. All news organizations were searching and trying to hunt the SWAT. Now, strategy would have told me that we should have had somebody, if this is where social media needs to work better together. There were multiple social media content creators out there. If we could have had those, if they could have gotten together and communicated, which I would have tried to do if I was out there, communicated with them, we would have had one set up at Nancy's house, one set up at Pima County, and one set up at Nancy's. And then what you do is you guys can join each other together on one stream to provide all of those things, so you guys are all getting the same views, and you're not there's just ways to do it so people aren't stepping on other people's toes, but you get better coverage of the case. And I think that you guys, that people that are out there, boots on the ground, need to start thinking outside of the box for that coverage, because when you have 3 content creators all looking at the same house, it's not giving us all what we need. But anyways, getting off that, they were out about 30 minutes away from this place, and I would have assumed that they would have thought to be at this place specifically or closer to Nancy's home, because the statistics say that whatever happened would have happened within 5 miles of that home, just statistically. So now this being within 2 miles of that home, this is perfect. This is what we want to see. This would explain why we didn't see those cars moving out and into those camera fields that were at the intersections. They lived in this community. And a mother. That means she had, and you guys know how I feel about adult children living at home with mommy and daddy. Don't do it. If you're one of those parents, please, please, please kick the kids out of the nest. Please.
$1 million. And since we've been here, over the past couple of hours, we've seen a lot of vehicles, law enforcement vehicles, going through this barricade.
Wow,
you can see behind
SWAT
me,
team.
2 SWAT team vehicles leaving the scene, and then several unmarked vehicles, potentially FBI vehicles, going on in. A whole convoy of them, really.
Double tap the screen, she says.
Comb through a house, we believe, in this neighborhood. It's unclear at this point if those 3 individuals that were detained lived in that home. It's also unclear if these individuals that were detained are actually suspects. Now, there is...
This is the wildest. I think this, how many people agree? Let's do 3s and 4s. If you agree that this is one of the, even Brian Koberger's case, that, yeah, we had some, it was crazy. Yeah, that was a crazy case too. That really was a crazy case. But this one feels almost a tad bit crazier. I mean, it really just does. If you guys think this is just a tad bit crazier than the Idaho 4, this is so subjective, right? If you guys think this is crazier than the Idaho 4, put a 3 in the box. If you guys think this is not quite that crazy, maybe less or just not that much, anything less than, put a 4 in the chat. So 3 that this is crazier than Idaho 4. 4, no, not quite. Oh, paralegal Liz, it's nice to see you, my love. I hope you're doing well. So we already got some 3s coming in. I know, this feels so crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's get back to this. Who are these people? You know what? The one thing I can tell you is it doesn't look like these people are known. Okay, look at this. This looks like a young punk. He looks like, oh shit. That looks like an oh shit taken, photo right there. Like, oh shit, I've been caught. And it keeps making you wonder why. And we haven't even gotten to the Range Rover yet, so keep sticking around. We haven't gotten to the Range Rover yet. What the hell was in the Range Rover? That it looks serious. Whatever they saw in the Range Rover, it looks serious.
Of interest. It's unclear if this second scene of interest is tied to the Nancy Guthrie case, but local law enforcement, as well as FBI agents have been on the scene of this second scene where a car was stopped in a Culver's fast food parking lot.
Potentially.
Evidence tape was wrapped in evidence tape. One individual was detained in that instance. And this Range Rover, the silver or gray Range Rover, had its license plates covered, and it was then put on a flatbed and towed out of that parking lot. This is all based off of what our photographer...
So this is where I have the biggest problem, because you're going to watch, they drape, like, look, we've watched a lot of crime scenes. And I know that this is probably by far one of the most pressing for them, for this area. They have never probably ever dealt with, like, for me, being out there, I deal with this stuff all the time. This high intensity, when we're out there in the field, it really is just like that. But you got to remember, some of these communities have never experienced this. This is Tucson, Arizona. It's not New York City, okay? And they're not used to all of this public pressure, this a media circus. Like, did you see those investigators? They're walking around searching for evidence with literally 40 cameras in their face as they're walking down the road. I mean, even in Gabby, it wasn't that nuts. Like, this is truly a media circus. Was it a rental? That's a good question, CD. But if it was a rental, why do they still have it? And what the hell was in the back of that? There was something in the back of that, and it breaks my heart because when you see how it was set up, it looks like it might have been Nancy, because that's kind of what you think, right? You sit here and think about this stuff, and you're like, what the hell happened here? And then you see these white things going up and then blocking the view, and the thing open up in the trunk, and you're thinking, is it Nancy? Like, why are they going out of their way to hide this if it's just like a backpack or something? You'd think they'd... oh, they got the backpack. It's not a big deal at this point if you got the subjects, but I don't know. This is crazy.
On the ground was seeing. So a second scene of interest. Again, unclear if that second scene is tied to the Nancy Guthrie investigation.
Look at this.
This scene behind us.
Look
here,
at this.
Home here in this neighborhood.
They're putting up freaking sheets.
It has been
what was in there?
To the Nancy Guthrie investigation. So in total,
it was a blood spot.
We've got 4 individuals
Jason says it's a blood spot.
Again,
good morning, Jason.
If any of these individuals are suspects in this case.
Yeah, to keep all the... That's what I was thinking.
Very few details earlier in the evening.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I was thinking that, the stuff that we were seeing them do, like the way that they were doing all of that, like setting that up, putting that thing, it did look like that they found a body. That, because we've seen, trust me, we've seen a lot of stuff on this show. Through Kylie Rodney, I had to watch people drown. I mean, I literally, anything that had a recording of somebody having a recording when they went underwater and drowning, I watched it. it was very, very, very disturbing stuff. But we watched it so we could understand what was going on out there. And we've watched a lot of stuff. And I'm telling you, the exercise we're about to view here on this show in just a few moments, that's an exercise we've seen many, many, many times. And it's an exercise when they've found a like human remains or body, but it seems like if they had found her and that they would have said that they found her, that but we've not gotten any of those. We have not got. Somebody get that person out of here, and you guys can block that person as well. So we'll keep this hidden. Yeah. We don't speak like that. If you don't like it, then move on, be an adult. But I guess we got a lot of children here on social media. So have a great day. It's too damn early to be so nasty. So go have a pity party, a pissy party, whatever the hell you got going on with you this early in the morning. Go do that somewhere else. Okay. And you can bless yourself with that. All right. Thank you. Thank you kindly.
Evening, it appeared that the Pima County Sheriff's Department was going to release a statement to us. And then several hours later, they said that essentially they just had a law enforcement investigation, operations going on, and that the FBI had asked them to not release further details. So still a lot of questions about what exactly has transpired this evening, how all this relates to the Nancy Guthrie case. Again, everyone just hoping that Nancy Guthrie is still alive. But at this hour,
that right there is the most hopeful that we have, because again, what we saw them doing on the outside of that vehicle, but again, it could be because of who was it? Was it Jason? I think you're the one that said you believe that and they would have had to have the morgue person, what medical examiner, the medical examiner, the coroner's office would have had to been out there if it was a dead body. So, I mean, we do have comfort to know that at least they didn't find her, but what they were doing, I have to think that there must have been, or, this is all speculative, so please don't run with it. But I would have to speculate to think that maybe there was a blood spot, like Jason had said earlier, that there's probably a large spot of blood or something in that vehicle. Was the car parked? We don't know, but this is all happening within 2 miles of this lady's home from everything I'm hearing. So this was definitely closer to home than we thought, or that we were kind of bouncing back and forth with.
Many questions remain. But back to you.
All right. Thanks very much. Max Gordon reporting live there from Tucson. Let's turn now to Fox News contributor Ted Williams. He's a former D.C. homicide detective, also a defense attorney, joining us on the phone now. Ted, we just heard from Max.
Morning, guys. Come on in. We got breaking news
there in Tucson. Whether this Range Rover that was seized from the Culver's parking lot is related to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. However, everybody who was there, or a good number of the people who were there, are wearing FBI jackets. I can't imagine that the FBI is looking into too many other crimes in the Tucson area right now.
I can't imagine them looking at any other crime right now in the Tucson area other than Nancy Guthrie. And not only that, but let's just break this all down for you guys, okay? Because at the end of the day, we heard that DNA was recovered yesterday. We got a hit on the DNA. We have a DNA profile other than Nancy Guthrie. So we got a profile. And they were going to be comparing it with other people and other assailants and people close to the home and everything like that. And then shortly after getting that, we found out that SWAT was leaving Pima County, and we heard that they were stationed in Miranda or something like that. I can't remember the name of the community, at a substation, and I want to say it started with an M. I can't remember the name. I want to say it's Miranda, but it might not be. And so it was stationed there, and they were watching it, and I think that was just to pull media away from the area so they could I think it was a decoy. And I think that that's what they did. They pulled the media out, moved them 30 minutes away so they could start going after their guy. And they got their guy, and now all the media was driving, 100 miles, 30 minutes away to try to get to the place where they were having this traffic stop. But that's what they did. Good morning, Freeside. It's nice to see you, love. I hope you're doing well. So I truly believe that's what they did, and they do things like that. I've seen it myself. I can always tell when something is going on. Like even when Jonathan was 30 minutes away, I was thinking this is going to take place so much closer to home. I was thinking in the back of my head that this was going to take place closer to home. I don't know what made me feel that way, but I think it had to do with the fact that they could not identify the vehicle. You know, they have never been able to identify a vehicle to us. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, I think it's down in my stomach. I knew that it's so dark there, and you can't. They've already talked about the cameras and stuff like that, and then you had the intersections that did have the traffic cameras and did have more lidded areas right there at those places. But it sounds like that they didn't have anything going out that intersection when it should have been going out that intersection, which finally yesterday I was starting to process that maybe this was somebody in that community somewhere. And now we're hearing this all took place within 2 miles of her home. And I was just talking about 1.5 miles. We even put it up there. I think it was 1.6 miles away, just to give a visual aid to my audience to show them how big that community was without even getting on a main thoroughfare. So I really do JLR used brilliantly to clear all the media out. He denounced to him, but it worked. Brian was the only one on the scene. Yeah, because he rode with him. Brian Inton actually rolled with the SWAT team. He got special permission to roll with the SWAT team on this one. So let's get back. We got a lot to cover, folks. You guys aren't here to talk for me to talk. You guys are here to find out, and we have a lot. I mean, I've got 15 tabs open, so we're just going to go straight down the tabs. We're all going to be informed together about what transpired last night. Come on in. We got breaking news, folks. Breaking news.
The Guthrie case.
Absolutely. I have to believe that this case of Nancy Guthrie going missing is the number one priority on all law enforcement out there. I've heard, and you heard our last commentary about the questions. What are the questions that I have for this investigation? I'd like to just share that with you.
Oh, I love questions.
Please.
I'm hoping, first of all, that there's a press conference tomorrow.
Yes.
And that they will clear up a great deal of information.
We need a press conference.
Yep.
Press conference.
For instance,
let's see if we have a press conference scheduled.
Investigation. One of the things we don't know, John, is really what was the motive. We know that an 84-year-old woman that has medical illnesses was taken from her home. We don't know really if it was for a ransom, meaning that someone was asking for money. We know that 2 alleged notes, one sent to KOLD television.
Oh my gosh. Are they possibly implying that this might be over the ransom notes? I hope not. I hope they have legitimate evidence tying these people to her abduction. We need to know what happened to her, and we need the people that did this behind bars until we find her. So I'm hoping that this is not related to the ransom note. Folks, if you guys are just waking up and you're just coming in or you're just opening up and finding out, yes, we have breaking news in the Nancy Guthrie case, folks. There have been 3 people detained. We're not hearing of any arrests just yet. And we don't do rude here, so if you're going to do rude, we will block you. So let's please be kind to all people, including me. If you don't like the commentary, there is a swipe up button or a back button. You don't have to be here, okay? But what you don't get to do is be rude to me or the people in chat. Be an adult. If you're not going to be an adult, we'll treat you like a kid and boot you.
Station and one sent also to TMZ. These 2 notes were asking for money, but we don't know the authenticity of those notes. This is information that has not been shared with us. We don't know if any ransom has been paid to anyone. These are very much question marks. John, you and I have been around a while. Normally, when someone breaks into a home, they break in for several different reasons: to commit a burglary, perhaps a robbery, or a kidnapping. if it is in fact a kidnapping,
or SA,
normally within a reasonable period of time, the kidnappers
you guys see what's going on
with the family or law enforcement where they are going and what they want.
See, this is what we've had a problem with right here, because typically these are the actions that they do when they're trying to shield a dead body. Okay, we do realize this was all taken away. There was no coroner that came out there. There was no medical examiner that arrived at the scene. So for me, it seems like they did this, one, to block media from seeing what they were doing inside of the vehicle. It could have also been because there was, as Jason said, blood inside this vehicle, and they wanted to prevent the, information and evidence getting out of there. I think at this point, now that we know that it wasn't Nancy, I think that it had a lot to do with evidence. They didn't want the media or the public knowing what type of evidence they have. Now, does this mean that there might be other people involved? It's sure feeling like that. How many people? We're going to have to go to 5s and 6s. We've already done 2 polls so far this morning, so we're going to have to go to 5s and 6s. Out of the folks that are in the chat, who believes there's more people involved? 5, there's more people involved. 6, nope, we got 1 or 2 people involved, and that's it. So multiple people involved is 5. 2 or less people is 6. More than 2 people, 5. Less than 2 people, well, more than I think we got 3 people detained right now. So those are where mask maybe. Yeah, there's something back there that they deemed. So we've got people in the chat that believes multiple people are involved. Multiple people. There's a white van, somebody says, and a gray pickup, and we've got a gray Range Rover here. So. Okay, so we have very limited people that believe that it's just 1 or 2 people involved. Everybody believes that there are multiple people involved. How many people? Let me ask this. This is going to be a 7 and 8. I think this is going to be the longest we've the furthest polls that we've had. We're going to have to go to 7 and 8. Holy crap. How many people still believe that somebody in the family is involved? If you still believe somebody in the family is involved, put a 7 in the chat. If you believe that this is truly stranger danger, put an 8 in the chat. 7, families involved. 8, stranger danger. Family, 7, stranger danger, 8. This is going to be interesting. 1 dead. Is that true? See, if one's dead, there should have been a coroner out there, and maybe that 1 dead. So we got, so we do, this one, though, it's getting split a little more. Some people think stranger danger, but the majority of our audience still believes the family's involved. Very interesting. These are interesting things. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, folks, on your way into the chat this morning. Those thumbs up button, we work pretty hard for those. Not stranger workers. Oh, somebody thinks it's close like that. Okay. That's a good question, Jeff. Who's dead? I have no earthly idea who is dead at this point. Guys, could the 1 dead be Nancy? Could the 1 deceased be Nancy? I called you a few times. Was my phone? You know what? My ringer's not on. I didn't even see this morning that you called. But I as soon as I opened my eyes, the first thing I did was roll over. Oh, there you are. Sorry, I keep trying to call you. Oh no! I did not get him. 4 times she tried to call me last night. 4 times. I'm so sorry. I forgot to have my ringer on. But interesting. How interesting this all is. Oh my goodness. So we've definitely got people that are all over the, not all over the map. You're 7 or 8. So you believe that this is a stranger danger, but the majority, it seemed like the majority of our audience is still waiting for that other So Vicky's saying no one is dead. That must have been a rumor. Okay. But you know that's crazy is everybody's still waiting for the second shoe to drop, folks. So what we're finding out here, one of the men died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I heard about that, but I don't know who it was. And if they did that, if they went ahead and pew-pewed the self-inflicted stuff, then we're on the right track. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're on the right track, and she's most likely gone because, you know, unless it was they knew they were going to jail for a really, really, really long time, like life imprisonment or death, then that's the only reason why, in my opinion, somebody would coward out and take that way out, you know. So that's crazy. So Jessica saying one person has lost their life, but we never saw the coroner's office show up unless that was at the house location. Maybe everybody was here at this location instead of the house location. That's crazy. That really is absolutely nuts. All right, let's keep getting back. We got a lot to go over, folks, a lot to go over.
None of that has occurred, as we know, from the public standpoint.
Good morning, guys. We have breaking news. Come on in. Grab yourself a cup of coffee.
Are asking for the public's help. They need to share as much information as they possibly can. Now, granted, they can't share everything, and we don't want to know everything.
I agree.
But was there a kidnapping?
Yeah, I saw
money,
it this morning.
Or is something
We're going to go through it.
going on here that we are not cognizant of?
Yeah, and you know it's been said from the get-go that because those ransom demands came in, you know, quite a few hours and I think even days after Nancy disappeared, that it's quite possible it was just some opportunist who thought maybe he could make some quick Bitcoin by putting in ransom demands, and you know might have absolutely nothing to do with her actual disappearance. Interesting, we were just watching the video of the silver Range Rover that has been taken away on a flatbed by sheriff's officers and the FBI. They were holding up a blocking tarp, if you will, so that, you know, the curious, the reporters who were standing there couldn't see what it is in the back of that Range Rover that they were photographing. What's the reason for that, Ted?
Morning, guys. Come on in. We got breaking news.
Why go to that extent just to block the media view of what's in the back of that car?
That's what we were thinking too, right? Let's see.
Well, it may very well be that the perpetrator or
See, they're trying to hide their identity. Why weren't they doing better with it? We do have the person. If you guys are just tuning in, there's the person right there. We did have somebody catch a glimpse of it and get the person, a photo of the person, not a very clear photo. But we have all these cameras out there, and our media partners are literally focusing away from the guy. Why? This is the crap that people are so annoyed with mainstream media. That's why they tune into social media. We don't block this crap. We give you what you're entitled to.
Portrayed us that are involved in the kidnapping of Nancy here. There may be something in that vehicle that they don't want even those individuals to know.
Wow.
I often believe, John, that when we are on television like this talking about these kinds of incidents, that in many of these cases that the perpetrator or perpetrators are actually watching us to see what they can glean from what is going on. And that may very well be why they are blocking out and screening out as much as they possibly can right now, meaning law enforcement, they're on the scene with that vehicle.
Yep.
Ted
Look at that.
Williams, Fox News consultant, former D.C. police.
They made sure that it was covered before they even opened up the back to look in it. They don't want anybody knowing what is in the back of that truck, back of that SUV. And to see it in a Range Rover, this is a very expensive vehicle too. You know, it's just... Let's see.
me to tell you what I saw. I ain't gonna tell you what I saw. Oh my God. I was not expecting that tonight. You know when y'all see me running up, there's an unalived person on the ground. On the ground. Now they're reporting that there's an accident on the next street over from where they're at. I took that whole video.
Hold on, let's put this up on the big screen. Hold on, let's put this up on the big screen. Give me a second. Let's put this up on the big screen. All right, here we go, guys. Here we go, guys.
Guys, get in here. Oh my God.
It's low.
Oh my
You guys are gonna have.
God.
I don't know why his is why it's recording so low. Maybe it's because of the way that it was recorded down. So you're going to have to turn your volume up. I'm going to turn my microphone way down so I don't blast your eardrums. But you're going to have to turn your microphone or your volume way up to hear him. He said he saw, a body.
I wanted to tell you what I saw. I ain't gonna tell you what I saw. Oh my God. I was not expecting that tonight. You know when y'all see me running up, there's an unalived person on the ground. On the ground. Now they're reporting that there's an accident on the next street over from where they're at. I took that whole video down. I don't know what the camera seen or whatever it may be, but there is a body on the ground.
That must be the self-inflicted.
It wasn't covered. When they see me run up with the camera, they started to cover it up. Oh my God, my heart just dropped out. I wasn't expecting to see that. I was wondering why they were bent down in front of that truck like that.
A truck.
I think this is a traffic stop. I don't think this is right. And I was like, hold on, let me run over here and see what they're doing. And oh my God, I wasn't planning on seeing that. Oh my God, I'm in like total shock. Now, this. Oh my God, look at all the police. Oh my God.
Wow.
Now,
This is a secondary location.
This is in the neighborhood. I'm gonna put this down. I don't want to show that. Oh my God.
So it looks like it was near where this was going on. It seems like it was near this bust, and we hear that one person was self-inflicted gunshot wound. That could be something. That could be something. It might be all together.
Homicide detective, now a defense attorney as well. Ted, thank you.
So that was Ted. We've got some more information out there.
Just a huge contingent of FBI agents arrived, at least 10 cars, and what looked like sort of an evidence unit that arrived maybe a half an hour ago. I'll step out of the way and show you. This is as close as we can get right now. You can't really see down the street where all the activity is. That deputy that you see there in the distance is blocking the street, but it's about 5 or 6 houses down where we know this SWAT operation happened, and where I'm told there is also a search warrant that is being executed right now. What I am being told is that when they went to this house initially, they pulled out a man and a woman, possibly a mother and a son, I'm being told. They came out willingly. So there was no need for any sort of force or flashbangs. It was very, very quiet. We were right down the street when it happened, and we didn't hear pretty much anything. It was quiet because they came out willingly, I am told, and were detained. And at the same time, interestingly, there was another male detained not far from here during a traffic stop that I am told is related. Whether that person also lives in the house, that's what I'm hearing. I haven't been able to fully confirm that yet. But there was another man detained in a traffic stop close by, and I told that person was going to get food and it happened near a Culver's restaurant where that person was detained.
That must have been the
How all of
Range
this connects
Rover.
back to the Nancy Guthrie investigation, we don't know, but we do know that this is part of the Nancy Guthrie investigation, and it is somehow connected. They're questioning these people right now. Is this going to turn into something, or is this going to be similar to what we saw several nights ago near the Mexico border when...
I don't think this is going to be similar to what we saw in Rio Rico, because this was after, in my opinion, this was after that they obtained the profile, the DNA profile. I absolutely believe that as soon as they had that DNA profile, they were able to start working that. And they did probably immediately. They probably ran it through all the prior offenders, which tells me that this guy, one of these people, may have had a felony where they've had their DNA taken, or a cousin or another family member was a felon and in the system, and maybe genetic genealogy, investigative genetic genealogy was used, or maybe they just ran it through their system and boom, they had assailant. You know, maybe it's multiple profiles. We did hear that we did receive a profile other than Nancy's, and it was from the glove. It was from the glove.
When that other man, Carlos, was detained, and then they ended up letting him go. We just don't know at this point, Jesse.
And you were told that this operation is going to last
Guys, come on in. We got breaking news.
I mean, what can we expect tomorrow with this?
Yeah, I mean, based on what I'm seeing, I don't get the sense that anybody's going to be leaving anytime soon. Mm-hmm. And when we were inside the perimeter closer, when we finally got kicked out, they came up to us and said, you know, you guys have to go, and we're going to be here pretty much. And I said, how long? And he goes, pretty much all night, which is sort of the sense that I'm getting too, that they're at least going to be there for several hours longer, especially since we just saw all of those additional FBI teams roll in.
I mean, this was a huge undertaking. You got FBI involved. You got Pinama County sheriffs involved. You most likely got state officials involved. This was a huge multi-agency action operation here. And it sounds like they had a house target, and it sounds like at that house target, one of the targets was heading for dinner. And that's where that Range Rover and that second male. So we had a man and a woman, it sounds like, detained from the home. And then another man. So it sounds like just bear with me here. I mean, this is what it sounds like. It sounds like a mom, dad, and a child. Does it not? Or it sounds like a mom and two young men that live with her. Right? So it's one of the two. It seems like a mom, I would assume, which is not really good, but I'm showing mom a lot of grace. I'm assuming mom's not involved, okay? I would assume that mom just got swept up in it and probably has some good, useful information about her son or sons, because we've got two males, one that was in the house with her at the time, and one that was in a Range Rover being pulled over by Culvers. We now know that the Range Rover was being used. Now, they opened the trunk of the Range Rover. This is a nice Range Rover. It sounds like mom has a lot of money at minimum. They live in a nice house from what I'm hearing. Mom is a nurse. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Mom's in her 50s. Mom's a nurse. And she's got her children. And it's probably adult children. Folks. I'm not going to give you guys parenting classes today. We've got a 84-year-old grandmother that needs to be found. So we're going to come back to that. We'll circle back. We're going to circle back to that.
An interview that was you guys did on the ground with someone there. I have to tell you, Brian, I'm wondering what's leading them there. Today was a very interesting day.
Crazy day, folks. Crazy day.
Of DNA.
Guys, don't forget.
And I'll just go back to that for a second. I mean, you've been covering this from the beginning. Do you think
this is related to the DNA? Guys, we got almost 4,000 people in chat. Please hit that thumbs up button. Please come back in. Let us know what number you are, where you're at in the United States or overseas, and tell us what the temperature is so everybody can get an idea of what the forecast is for the day while we're breaking this news. If you guys are just coming in, I'm Bullhorn Betty. We cover true crime. We're covering the case of Nancy Guthrie. We've had major breaking news break over in the middle of the night. What had happened is it sounds like DNA came back on the glove that we knew was sent off to a lab in Florida. That has been compared to associates and people near to the family that they have known DNA for. And then it sounds like law enforcement last night, after stating that they received the DNA profile, we started hearing about the SWAT team loading up from Pima County Sheriff's Department and heading out. There was a staging ground. I truly believe that initial going out was to draw media away from Nancy's home and be a decoy, because they took the people 30 minutes away, and then they moved in and arrested 2 people outside of their home. They didn't have to bust in the house. The people came out willingly, and a third person was stopped down the road near Culver's, and that's where the Range Rover comes into play. So for you guys, if you don't know what happened, and that's where we're picking up the story right now.
I think there was something that led them there, whether it's the surveillance footage, whether it's the
DNA,
the idea of collecting DNA, the gloves. Now there's been potential identifications of the clothing worn by the suspect.
Yep.
What's your gut telling you about what might have led them there? Because it seemed like,
you guys.
My guests have been saying it looks like they were under surveillance for a little bit.
Yeah, it's my understanding that someone in the home was under surveillance, and I was getting
someone was under
indications
surveillance
from my sources really starting in the late afternoon that something might be going down tonight. And then we reported when the SWAT team was staging. They staged at 2 different locations that we were at. They were all gathering together, and you got the sense that they were getting ready to do something. Granted, we've seen them do that other nights, and nothing has transpired, so we weren't really sure which way it was going to go tonight. And then, lo and behold, they staged at one location. They moved to a different location very close to the house.
It was a decoy.
And then they moved in on the house pretty much at the same time that we know they moved in on that traffic stop, Jesse. Whether it has anything to do with the announcement by the sheriff that DNA was found inside the home, my sense is it doesn't. That this was someone who was probably already on their radar and under surveillance, but we're just going to have to wait and see.
Oh, so they think that this pretty interesting. So, and I have to trust, we have to understand that Brian Inton rolled with the SWAT teams. He was able to come along. He knew where the location was. He was the only one that was there on the scene when they made these busts because, again, there was a decoy, and it brought many media about 30 minutes away. And Miranda, or wherever the M word was, I can't remember what the name of the community is that starts with an M, that's right around there. But I digress. Either way, the media was in a different location, which was strategic from local law enforcement, in my opinion. Either way, this happened 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. We're hearing right now, and they're only saying right now that 2 men, or excuse me, a man and a woman, a son and a mother were obtained and taken into custody at the home. And another man was taken into custody at the Range Rover. We're hearing that there was a somewhere along in this story. I know it's not being broadcasted right now, but last night we heard that somebody affiliated with this case took their life. And we're hearing from Dolly that there was a truck. I don't know. He didn't say what color the truck was, whether it was a gray truck. We're looking for a gray truck. Somebody in a gray truck. He did say that there was a truck, and he ran up, and there was a dead body. So he took his video down because he didn't know what they saw. And you got to be very careful, because if you show stuff like that on YouTube, they will terminate your account. So if you are a content creator and you ever roll across something that you cannot show on YouTube, you've got to immediately remove your video. Okay. Put it in private status. If you need to download it so you can put it back up and cut that portion out, you can do that as well, but it has to immediately come down. Okay, you don't want to be with that. You can literally lose. They will terminate your account, and you'll never be able to use YouTube again. So be very, very, very careful if you're out there in the field and you come across this. That's why Dolly took it down. But it makes you wonder, was that affiliated with this? Because we did hear of somebody losing their life. So again, guys, come on in. We got breaking news. We're hearing that 3 people have been detained in the case of Nancy Guthrie.
Any idea of identities of these people?
No, we don't have names. We don't have identities. We don't, looks like there's someone else coming out here. So let me step out of the way. You can see who this is. But we do not, it looks like this is maybe one of the SWAT units now leaving, Jesse.
Oh,
They've been there for a long time.
Wow.
I actually thought maybe these SWAT units would have left earlier once everything sort of calmed down.
Marina. Yeah, that's it. That's it,
This is what we
TX.
saw
Thank you.
earlier. There were 2 of these, and that's how we knew.
Thank you, Morena. That's it, Morena. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Morena. I knew it started with an M, but they were stationed, the SWAT. So the SWAT you see here left Pima County, and they were stationed at a substation in Morena. And of course, everybody was on, because I was too. Like, I've got on this phone here, I've got several. Here, I'll show you. I wonder if it'll play for you guys. But I downloaded the police scanner, and I was on, I don't know if it'll go through here or not. But I was on the police scanner, and I was listening like everybody else, and everybody was talking about this Marina. And they were all in this this community, and like the neighbors were coming out of this community, and they're like, "What the hell's going on? Why are all these?" And it's either news people or people living in the community walking out seeing this. The scene at Culver's and the Range Rover is part of the Guthrie case. It sure is. And so, while they're staged over here 30 minutes away, they're conducting this breach, this search warrant of this house 2 miles away from Nancy's home. So CBS Philadelphia, law enforcement activity ramped up late Friday night at a location about 2 miles away from the Guthrie home in Tucson, Arizona, nearly 2 weeks into the search for the missing 84-year-old. And it's unclear what drew the investigators to that site. But again, I want to caution and remind every single person out there, right? We just got DNA back. Now we're going to be going over some of the stuff that's in our chat room here in just a second. So mods, if you guys have everything in there, it's fine, but I'll be going through that here in just a second. So there is the Range Rover. The Range Rover SUV was seized overnight in the search of Nancy Guthrie. Today hosts Savannah Guthrie's missing mother. And we still have not, from everything that I'm understanding, we still have not heard anything about the whereabouts of Miss Guthrie. I, at this point, believe she's probably been disposed of. I have to think that because they've went into this person's house, and guess what? Nancy wasn't inside that house. Otherwise, we would have heard about it. So we have no Nancy, and we have 3 more people detained, and potentially another person that did a self-inflicted situation. So here, for those people that, are watching, we've already watched this on the news, but as you can see, Culver's in the background.
But that was what we saw on his shirt, at least.
So we don't know what they're looking at in this particular matter. I wish people were on the other side because they don't seem like they have the covers on the other side. Okay, Okay. And then here we got Range Rover at Culver's sealed with evidence tape. It was sealed with evidence tape. The trunk activity hidden by a sheet as FBI swarm minutes from Nancy Guthrie's home, SWAT scene and home, ransom chaos plus this lead. I don't know what we're looking at here. Is this affiliated with the is this affiliated with the ransom or with her abduction. We have two things going on here, and we have to remember that. You know, there are two things going on here. We have this ransom stuff, and we have her abduction. What are we looking at here? Is this related to the ransom, or is this related to the abduction? 2 miles from her home? I'm starting to feel this is related to her abduction. Potentially. We can't be 100%, but there is a Range Rover. As you can see, they are processing it. It appears that there's something in the back of this truck that they did not want us to know about or to see or anything like that. So we don't really know a whole lot about that aspect of it. But this article, we'll go ahead and read this together. This is what we need to know. It says the FBI released a description of the suspect in Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, describing him as approximately 5'9" to 5'10" inches tall. And again, we can't see who this person is, but this person looks pretty upset. And if I had to guess, this might be the person that broke into the house just by the appearance. I can't be for sure. But, you know, it is what it is. What is he, 5'9", 5'10"? We don't know. So they say he's 5'9", 5'10", with an average build. I don't see him being tall and slender, but it seems from that face that we just saw that person in the car will look to appear to be a slender person. In the video, he's wearing a backpack, a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker backpack. The FBI increased the reward to $100,000 for any information leading to Nancy Guthrie or the conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance. We have the Pima County Sheriff's Department forensic team was seen searching the brush off the road near Nancy's home. So again, they were about a mile and a half from the home when they found that black glove. And I told you that I believe that they were following a phone ping or some type of digital footprint when they located it. And I still believe that that's going to be the case. Now we have the founder, Harvey TMZ, Harvey Levin, and his organization received multiple letters claiming about the ransom and the Bitcoin. And so we have to ask ourselves, is this related, right? Is this related to the ransom, or is this specifically related to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie? Right now, none of us have that answer. We know that this is related to the Guthrie case, but so is the ransom note, and so is her missing. So what are we looking at here? I really, 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 truly don't know. So the Range Rover was towed away from the Culver's parking lot in Tucson, Arizona, Friday evening after it was involved in a traffic stop. And remember, we heard there was a traffic stop with Dolly, but he said it was a pickup truck, not an SUV. During the law enforcement operation in connection with the investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Law enforcement investigated the Range Rover, which appeared to be silver or gray. I think that's important because they said they were looking for a gray pickup truck, but maybe they were throwing us off and just looking for a gray SUV, a gray vehicle, for a couple of hours before having it loaded up on a tow truck and taken away from the scene. During the investigation, authorities covered the vehicle's license plate and removed the items from the vehicle and photographed, even holding up sheets at one point to block the view of police activity in the trunk. The driver of the vehicle was detained by law enforcement for questioning and was taken away from the scene. It is unclear if the person remains in custody or not. At least 3 people were detained Friday evening for questioning. So they're saying 3 people, not a 4th person, and not somebody that lost their life. I think maybe those might be 2 separated events, but we will. That's a good question, Turkey Man. We have no idea where she is or where her body is at this point. So police detain a man near major law enforcement operation in Nancy Guthrie's case. A man was detained during a traffic stop late Friday night at Culver's fast food chain about 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. And again, we know what has happened there. We're also learning from Channel 8. Let's go ahead and put this up.
There were already a ton of deputies and SWAT vehicles, and then, as you mentioned, we saw just a huge contingent of FBI agents arrive, at least 10 cars,
FBI agents.
and what looked like sort of an evidence unit.
I feel like
that
this is
arrived
good.
Maybe a half an hour ago. I'll
I
step
feel
out of the
this
way
is
and show
good.
you. This is as close as we can get right now. You can't really see down the street where all the activity is. That deputy that you see there in the distance is blocking the street, but it's about 5 or 6 houses down where we know this SWAT operation happened, and where I'm told there is also a search warrant that is being executed right now. What I am being told is that when they went to this house initially, they pulled out a man and a woman, possibly a mother and a son, I'm being told. They came out willingly, so there was no need for any sort of force or flashbangs.
So we've already heard that one. Daily Mail. Daily Mail is always up to date on what's going on in the area. So Nancy Guthrie police hold up sheets as they remove items from a Range Rover. I wonder if one of those items was a backpack. I mean, we can't see, and I'm telling you, our Daily Mail, they're ruthless. I love Daily Mail. They get the job done. Police investigating the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie held up a sheet as they removed items from a Range Rover after a man was arrested at a traffic stop. 3 people were detained last night during a SWAT operation just about 1.9 miles from the 84-year-old home in Tucson, Arizona. Officers reportedly acting on a tip. The mother of TV host Savannah Guthrie vanished from her $1 million property nearly 2 weeks ago, with police believing she was taken against her will. It is unclear whether any of the individuals detained last night are suspects in her disappearance. And it's important that we notate that because, again, we have 2 situations going on here. We have her disappearance and we have the ransom. So which one is this associated with? Or is it associated or attributed with both? I don't believe that to be the case. However, new images from the restaurant parking lot where one of the arrests took place show police recovering items from a gray Range Rover. It's important to say this gray because we've been looking for gray. At least 2 officers can be seen holding up sheets while members of law enforcement take objects out of the vehicle. They believe to have collected evidence, but it is not known exactly what was recovered. Separate photographs show police inspecting the boot of the Ranger before loading the vehicle into the back of the pickup truck, or the back of the truck. Interesting. So we can see some things here, but we can't see anything. They tried, though. They were getting as close as they could. They brought out the big cameras, I can tell you that. They brought out the big lens. So there's the intruder right there. Who is that? Who is this person? Who is this person? Our audience, just to let you guys know, our audience absolutely believes the family still may be involved. We did a poll earlier, probably about 30 or 45 minutes ago. And our audience believes that there's more than these people involved in this abduction. Our audience believes that somebody in the family still is involved in this case, and we are still waiting for a shoe to drop. I don't know which it is, but I'm just giving you guys the polls that you guys gave me. So, and it was overwhelming. The people that put their stuff in here, it was overwhelming. So, the other 2 individuals who were arrested last night were pulled from a house in Marina. They appeared to be a mother and a son. Pima County Sheriff Shamonis Valdez. Pima County Sheriff Shamonis Valdez told the Daily Mail that the raids were in connection with the Guthrie case. The home in question was the only location police were focused on last night. Roughly 24 officers, including FBI officials, were seen standing near a blocked-off street in the pouring rain. One Pima County Sheriff's Office plane was also spotted flying over the Tucson neighborhood. The SWAT team was reportedly activated around the same time that the aircraft was launched. Law enforcement activity increased at the property on Friday night as more vehicles arrived, including units believed to be federal agents. Marked sheriff's cars were followed by federal evidence trucks, according to CNN. SWAT were seen leaving the scene earlier, while forensic teams remained at the area. So you can clearly see that the FBI is there. And there is Savannah and her mother. They just seem so sweet. I'm sorry, they do. And I don't care what their political leaning is. They look like a lovely family. And it's breaking my heart to know that this 84-year-old woman had to deal with such ruthlessness and such torture. Some earlier reports suggest the home belonged to former county attorney. The Pima County Sheriff's Department clarified these claims were not accurate. So we did hear that as well. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said that the operation was part of investigators actively working a lead. The AZ family reported. Pima County Police Department released a statement on Friday. Law enforcement activity is underway at a residence off East Orange Grove Road and North Avenue related to Nancy Guthrie. I heard about Orange Grove. I was ready to send it off to somebody that was on the ground, and I withheld it because I figured they knew what they were doing. Because this is a joint investigation at the request of the FBI, no additional information is currently available. A source told Fox News the judge issued the warrant to enter the home. The development comes a day after FBI asked the public assistance in identifying the masked figure near the Guthrie home before she disappeared. Doorbell camera images of the individual showed the masked man wearing a black jacket, a backpack, and gloves. Residents within 2-mile radius of Guthrie's home were asked to check their doorbell and security camera footage dating back to the beginning of January. This is just, look at that. Look at that swarm of officers around that property. That's crazy. There's the SWAT leaving. Crazy. This was insane, folks. This was insane out there. Guthrie was last seen entering her home in Tucson the evening of January 31st after having dinner with her daughter and son-in-law Tommaso Cioni and her grandchildren. The next morning, she was reported missing when she failed to attend church service with friends, Nano said. On Friday, investigators discovered DNA found at Nancy's property during the investigation did not belong to her or her family, or anyone close to her. The DNA other than Nancy Guthrie and those in the close contact to her have been collected from the property. The sheriff's department said, adding that investigators were working to identify who it belongs to and not disclosing where it was found. We heard it was found on a glove. Investigators also found several gloves ranging from roughly 2 miles to 10 miles away from Nancy's home. Officials described the suspect as 5'9" tall to 5'10" tall male with an average build. And of course, the FBI is offering $100,000. I wonder if this person was tattled on. Was he tattled on?
Fox News reports 3 people have been detained in connection with the Nancy Guthrie case. This is new video into our newsroom of FBI fingerprinting someone. An active police situation is underway.
Wow, turning his head and everything.
Sources say it's linked to the search for Guthrie, the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie.
I think we got the guy. Whoever there, because it looks like they're in white. I mean, whoever that is right there, that looks like it's on the outside of Culver's. Is that on the outside of Culver's? Does anybody know whether this is on the outside of Culver's or if this is at the house? Because if this is at the house, then it's the kid. If this is at Culver's, it's whoever was in that car. What does it say? I was the guardian angel of 14 years. Curtis Slowa, the founder, he's from New York City. Probably said that wrong, sorry. That's where they're from, but they'll all over the place. We dealt with missing persons. Nice. Oh, that's the first time I've heard about the grandchildren. Yeah. Well, I knew they had children, young children in the house, but I only thought they had one child, not children. To live you a long life, 84 plus, this happened. I know that's the worst part about it. The first 48 is critical with any missing persons case. After that, the chances change and finding them alive aren't good. Yeah, I know. I let my audience know we're in the single percentiles at this point of her coming back. Unfortunately alive. Yes, that's at Culver's. Well, this might be the subject right here. This might be the person, whoever was in that vehicle at Culver's.
Is about 2 miles from her home, where multiple agencies have blocked off a neighborhood in the Oro Valley area. Okay. The FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to her return. Investigators describe a possible suspect as a man between 5'9" and 5'10" with a medium build. And with that, welcome to Good Night LA. I'm Susan Hirasuna, in for Christine Devine.
I know him well.
Activists and faith leaders unite in Los Angeles to demand an end to U.S. support in arming Israel and the immigration and customs enforcement raids here at home.
Okay, well, we're past that. Well, let's get back to the Nancy stuff. I think that this is not... Okay, that's not what...
Urgent search for Nancy Guthrie. It continues this afternoon after a bizarre twist in the case overnight.
Yeah, police detained someone during a traffic stop only to release him hours later. Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg is in the newsroom with the very latest. Lauren.
Well, this is a case that is really confounding investigators. Why was...
This is the first one. I think I grabbed the wrong one. This is from 2 days ago. Yeah, I grabbed the wrong one. That's not what I'm looking for. This is what we're looking for. Okay, so here's Newsweek. This is what they say. Federal agents searched and seized a gray Range Rover during late night operations at a parking lot restaurant near Nancy Guthrie's home overnight on Friday into Saturday. It came shortly after law enforcement operations confirmed to be connected to the search took place at a nearby home. Video images of the restaurant broadcasted by local news station KGUN 9 showed FBI agents and Pima County deputies photographing, searching, and covering the vehicle in a Culver's restaurant parking lot approximately 2 miles from the Guthrie home. This was close, folks. This was close. You know why? He looked like he knew the place. He lived there. Officials have not publicly said who owns the SUV or why it was taken, including whether or not the activity is linked to the 84-year-old Guthrie, the mother of Today's Show host, Savannah Guthrie. Newsweek contacted the FBI Phoenix via email and the Pima County Sheriff's Department via web contact form early on Saturday outside of regular office hours. Law enforcement activities confirmed to be connected to the search that took place the same night. New photographs show FBI agents and SWAT team conducting an operation about 2 miles from the Guthrie home. Nancy Guthrie has been seen January 31st and reported missing February 1st. Investigators believe she was taken from her home against her will. And then here's where we got. This is, look at that, a straight shot down the main drag. This is the home. And they went to Culver's. They just went right straight down the street to Culver's to eat. And look what's in the middle of this. So they live up here. All of these intertwined in this main road. Look at that. Look at that. Going away from the main exit. Look at that. Look at that, folks. Now we know why the car was identified in the area. It belonged in the area. The car, you guys can't see it. There we go. The car belonged in the area, folks. That's why. Why couldn't we figure out what was going on? Because the car belonged there. The car belonged there. Look at that. Look at that. That's insane. I think we got our guy. Because the person seemed like they were very, very, very comfortable in this area. I bet you anything they've lived here. They probably lived here for a long time. What could the motive... The hell if I know. The hell if I know. At this point, I have no earthly idea. But that's pretty interesting. This is somebody that's been in this area a long time. Maybe the family, maybe the kid is doing the DoorDash stuff. You know, a lot of these people are doing the DoorDash stuff. Maybe the reason why they caught the Range Rover at Culver's is maybe they were doing another DoorDash delivery. I mean, we don't know. I guess everything's going to come out, but this map here is very interesting. This map is very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. I think that this might be something, folks. I don't think this is because the one thing that I noticed about the person observed, just me personally, when I observed them, is they didn't seem like they knew specifically about her house specifically, but they felt comfortable in that area. And that was one thing that I noticed. Stress is number one killer of heart problems. Had quadruple bypass. Doctors say no. I know. I'm stressed all the time. I am. Even this morning, just the computer, the equipment, it's just like every day. So I'm going to end up having to strip OBS off this computer and put it back on and rebuild it, because I think I clogged it up with too many plugins and stuff like that, which I've removed, but it doesn't seem like it's fixed. It feels like after I removed it, it screwed up the system more. So I think I'm going to have to delete it and rebuild it. Which, if we have to do that, we have to do that. It didn't take that long. And now that I'm comfortable with this program a little bit better, it should be a lot easier to rebuild. Walk out. Yeah, I hope that she's still alive. But guys, we know how this stuff works. Unfortunately, we have a situation where the chances of her coming back alive are probably not that good. So this is interesting. Here's the map, you guys. If you guys want to know where the map is, there it is, right? And her house is right slap dead in the middle. This makes sense to me. Photos from outside of the restaurant. Actually, matter of fact, let me go ahead and save this. Let me save this. Hold on, guys. Let me get this saved real quick. Nancy Guthrie's home. There we go. Okay. It's saved. Sorry, I wanted to make sure I saved that. The vehicle found near the neighborhood has been sealed off. There it is, the gray Range Rover. Oh, we got some good, this is the SWAT in the neighborhood approximately 2 miles away. This looks like the houses over there are really nice too, folks. They look a little closer together because you can see the driveway here and the driveway over here. But it looks like it's still a very nice neighborhood, and that Range Rover's a new Range Rover. That Range Rover ain't cheap. So you got, why was this person in Nancy? You've already got money. They've obviously got money if they're living in this community. The vehicle actively unfolded alongside a broader law enforcement operation, which included SWAT response at a nearby residential location and multiple detention though officials have stressed that detention are not arrests. So they detain them. They're not arrested. The Sheriff's Office Department has said the investigation is being conducted jointly with the FBI and that the details remain limited at the Bureau's request. Oh, thank you, Terry. I appreciate the super sticker. God bless you. God bless you. So law enforcement activity underway is at East Orange Road and North Force. Let me write this down because it's got to go in my notes. East Orange Grove Road and North First Ave. Okay, there we go. Related to the Guthrie, and it showed the department there from midnight or 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which, as you guys know, I was snoring. After news reported emerged because the joint investigation at the request of FBI, no additional information is currently available. The FBI has increased the reward to $100,000, leading to the information of anybody being arrested or the safe return of Nancy Guthrie, FBI, Pima County, SWAT. We're going to keep going. We're almost done. And they have no sound. So there is, can you guys see that? I don't know if they, hold on, let me see. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you guys can see that when I pull it up that big or not. But we have that. So I think that really is all of the information that we have, folks. At the end of the day, we have a situation where Nancy Guthrie, something happened to her. We spent 2 weeks. We were rounding into the third week today, and we could not find a vehicle attributed.
Disconnect between local authorities there with the Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI. You being with the FBI, of course.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened, but it just started talking, and it freaked me out a little bit. Okay. All right, guys. So anyways, this is good news, folks. We have good news, breaking news today. We are waking up. 3 people have been detained. I don't believe all 3 are involved in this. I would believe that Mom has the Range Rover. Mom's the one paying for the big fancy house that they're all living in. I'd have to assume Mom's probably not involved in this. She's probably taking care of punk kids instead of kicking them out of the nest. We'll get into that another time. Don't want to go through a parenting class right now. But at the end of the day, we got good news, folks. Good news. Breaking news in the Nancy Guthrie case. 3 are currently detained. I don't see any reports that they have been released. We still have a few things to go through before I let you go. That is in my Mod Squad chat. So let's just go through some of the stuff that we have from this morning. It says, we got a little bit better. They have handcuffs on him. Let me send this to you guys. Why can I not send this? Okay, there's a latest update of this. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Let's send this to ourselves real quick via. All right, we're going to bring up Mike Ruiz. Thank you, Terry. What does it say here? Sorry. Let me get back to you, wherever you are. There you are. It says Daily News has removed the picture of the guy detained. Well, we're getting new stuff from Mike Ruiz of the person detained. So here you go, right here. Here is the person. It's got a mustache and beard, folks. Look at this. Can you guys see that? Look at that. The straight nose. Look at how much facial hair is on this person. Guys, we have breaking news. We're finally starting to see some of the rare footage of the person responsible or presumed responsible for the picture of the man arrested. I see it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, guys, I don't think that this has anything to do. They're saying it does. Law enforcement is saying it does, not us. Law enforcement has acknowledged that this is directly connected to Nancy Guthrie. So we're reporting what law enforcement show his face. That is his face right here. And you can clearly see a mustache and beard. Thick. Look at the lip. I think this is the guy. I think we're looking at the guy, folks. There he is. Right there. Holy smokes. I think this is it. Guys, I think we hit pay dirt. I really do. I can't be for sure, but I really believe we hit some pay dirt here. And so what Mike Ruiz says is, first look at a man cuffed at the Culver's restaurant near Nancy Guthrie's home in Tucson last night. No charges have been announced, and authorities have not confirmed that they have any suspects at this time. So reminding us that there are no suspects at this time. He further says, I'm told this stop was connected to the warrant served at a nearby house last night. The car was towed. The vehicle was a Range Rover that police and FBI were seen looking at for hours in the Culver parking lot. It's the same Culvers that had the white van was surrounded last night. So they had a white van surrounded too. Here's the white van that was surrounded. Right there. We heard about a white van in the area. There's a white van right there. Is this all connected? What does it mean? We don't know. So let's keep going here. So the vehicle was a Range Rover police are looking at in the Culver's parking lot, and that's what we know so far. All right, now let's keep going into my chat here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Police are searching the area for one or more suspects. Outside of Culver's. Looks like we might have some aerial shots. Let me see what I'm looking at here. I think we might have some aerial shots of this. See if we can derive any information from the aerials. But it's taking so long to load up. All right, well, I'm going to say that that's not associated. And if it is, so I think we've covered just about everything that we need to cover about this breaking news. Ooh, here's some new information. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Don't leave. We got some other stuff coming up right now. Let's go ahead and hit this. All right, guys. We're in real time right now. Sorry, we're searching to find information. Here we go. Here's another post right here. Let me go ahead and reduce the size of this real quick for you guys, so you guys can see what's going on. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, what we have is Nancy Guthrie Range Rover being towed from the scene of Culver's with evidence tape placed on the door. So we wanted to go ahead and show you guys the updated. Let me make sure these are fitting right on the. Why is this doing that? It should not be doing that. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Sometimes I hit the wrong button. Okay, so here is them loading up there's the evidence tag. They sealed the trunk. They have sealed the trunk. So you can see the sealed trunk right there. They opened it. They had the sheets up. You couldn't see what they were doing it, and then they sealed the trunk. There's something in the trunk. There it is, where they had the trunk open before sealing it and sealing it for evidence. And you can see they're hiding whatever they need to hide from the public. And there you go. There is the person being questioned by the FBI. We learned from Mike Ruiz. Here is more of the face. Let me see if I can blow this up for you guys. More of the face. Look at that. There he is. There he is. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this a little bit bigger. There he is. You guys see him? Right here. Oops. Right here. There he is. There's the subject right there. There's the subject right there. So is this the guy? Guys, I don't know. It looks like it. He's got a mustache. He's got a beard. It's dark black. Look how jet black it is. Look how jet black it is. Look at it. It's jet black. It's just what we're looking for. Can you remove the comment screen? I sure can. Yeah, sorry about that. Yes. There he is. There he is, right there. Sorry. Right there. I think this is the guy. I really do. I think we got a winner chicken dinner. Maybe the backpack was in the back of it. Yeah. Why? The question is, why would he do this? I guess only time will tell. We're going to find out what happened. I mean, it's only a matter of time before we find out what happens. You know, but there's the guy. There's the guy, folks. There's the guy. And so we're seeing him questioned here with the FBI. Same guy, jumper suit. You know, I can't see his shoes. But I believe he committed homicide. I believe, unfortunately, Nancy Guthrie's deceased. I believe she's deceased. I believe she's been deceased. And it breaks my heart. And I don't believe that they were trying to get ransom. I don't know what this was about. Could the family be involved? The more I'm looking at this case, the more I'm thinking this was a random act of violence. But I guess, you know, we're getting closer. So we're going to find out, you know, where this all lands. Like I told you when we got into this case, this is going to be, you guys are going to be shocked. This is going to be stranger than fiction. And it's most likely not going to be what we expected it to be. And so far, it sounds like with all these twists and turns that initial assessment that I made early on. Even with our deliberation and assessment on this, that statement is even with all the stuff we went through, ended up being the most truthful statement we've made on here. About this case, is that it's going to shock us, and it's not going to be what we expected it to be. 40 ain't going. I don't know. He looks a little older, but you can't hardly see his face with all the FBI agents. But he isn't young. I don't think he's young. No, I don't think he's a youngin'. I think he's a little bit older. I guess what we're going to do is we'll find out. Thank you, Outlaw. I hope you're doing well. But at the end of the day, guys, this is kind of the story. This is where we're at. This has been a lot of twists and turns in this case. And hopefully we're going to learn some new stuff. I'm going to get off here because this is your update. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to monitor this. And if we have any press conferences or anything like that, you guys can tune in right here. We'll go live for any press conferences. Let's pray. Today's a great day to pray. For those of you guys that do pray, let's pray that this is the guy and we get some answers. And maybe once they find out who the people are involved, maybe it will help lead to where Nancy is. At the end of the day, her children deserve to have her back. At the end of the day, all the victims that we cover on this channel deserve to have their loved ones back. And all too often, in many of our cases, the loved ones are never found again. So we're going to keep holding out hope. So there's a lot of people here. We did run polls, so I can tell you that my audience still thinks a family member is involved. We're still waiting for more information. They believe multiple people are involved. They don't believe these people are the only ones involved. Those were from assessments that we did, polls that we did on this channel earlier today. And those polls were whether there was more than just these people involved. And my audience believes there's more people involved. I asked my audience whether they thought family members are still involved, and they did. And I can't remember the third one that I asked, but you guys can go back and review that. But anyways, here we are, guys. We will be back. If you guys have not subscribed to the Bullhorn Betty channel, please consider subscribing to the Bullhorn Betty channel. We're really trying our hardest to make sure that we properly analyze this case and provide you not only good content, but accurate content. And we try to stay away from the clicky stuff. And occasionally we do. I know that some people had said something about my thumbnail today, as well as I really don't care. I pull you guys in for a purpose. We had breaking news. We had over 4,000 people in our chat today. Thank you all for being here. I'm glad you guys learned new information. If you guys hear of any new information, please consider sending it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. We do care about the truth here on this channel, and we do care about our audience. And with your help, we can always be factual, truthful, and keep people tuned in. God bless each and every one of you. We will be back later today. We will see you very soon. God bless. And thank you so much, Kim Young. I almost missed it, but we were able to get it. So thank you so much for your super chat. It says, good morning. Love your channel. Much respect. Thanks, Kim Young. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.